What video game will always hold a special place in your heart? Metal Gear Solid, 1 to 4. I got the first game in 1999, and it was the first bonding experience me and my middle brother had. The three of us have been super close for decades after, and it started with MGS1. Same for Call of Duty Black Ops, but with my youngest brother. I played the Silent Cartographer demo so many times at GameStop in the mall that I finally decided to trade in my PS2 for an Xbox. Such a great game. I went in knowing nothing about the story. Some of the discovery early on just blew me away. When you land on Halo, first time you find a giant artificial cave, when you turn on the light bridge, first time you see the hunters, first time you see snow, when you watch the Private Jenkins flood video, etc. etc. And some of the missions were awesome. The slow approach with a sniper rifle in Truth and Reconciliation, the beach assault in Silent Cartographer, and, of course, the final Warthog run. My only criticism is that some of the levels got a bit repetitive. Assault on the Control Room and 343 Guilty Spark both just had the same or similar rooms over and over again. I have played so much Spore it's not funny. I pushed the Grox back to a small number of planets unreachable at the center of the galaxy, launched a genocide against every banana man I found, and burnt any civilization in my way. Now years later my son plays Spore but has no interest in anything beyond the creature state. There is an achievement for wiping them out, but it does require you to let other species survive because they can finish wiping them out. Likewise there is one for befriending them, and immediately becoming the enemy of all others. Pokemon Yellow. I was devastated to see that later games didn't have your starter follow you like Pikachu would. And the game seemed easier in my mind because there weren't the challenging matchups of the Viridian Forest, Brock's Gym, and Mount Moon straight from the get-go purely from an electric starter. Wow, until after Watlook. For me, it was the BC era when I first started playing. This was in the times before Dungeon Finder, and the best way to get groups was either your guild or the friends you made in-game. There were several people I met in that game just through random pugs that I would spend hours talking to. Never before or since have I been that social in a game. Even my guild was amazing. Awesome players and just awesome people. It was small, but we gelled really well. Spent all the time shooting the shit with zero drama. They were people who I would have loved to meet one day. I miss them. Fell out of contact with nearly all of them eventually. And ever since then, after the release of the Dungeon Finder, the game just never felt the same. Too impersonal. Chances are that the people you are doing the instance with you will never see again. Destiny. It's what really got me into gaming. My family used to just play RW for family game night but would never really play it any other time. Then we got an Xbox for Christmas so we could play Disney Infinity with my cousin. I was over at my friend's house one day and saw him playing this really cool game I had never seen before. 'Twas Destiny. I begged my parents to let me get a game. I have very strict parents. After a lot of convincing and them even watching videos about it, they bought it for my birthday. To this day I have close to 3,000 hours into that game and it brought me where I am today. I might just be old but shit, where's all the run escapers at? Pokemon Stadium, old school 64 Mario Party. Perfect Dark. Loved FF9, all-time favorite for sure. Ocarina of Time. Even Sega Lion King and Ninja Turtles. That army game with the plastic figurines. Skies of Arcadia for the Dreamscape. While we're on that note, Grandia 1 and 2. Defiantly Tales of Symphonia I saw that mention though. Lunar SSSC and 2 Eternal Blue. Secret of Mana and Secret of Evermore. Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross. Legend of Dragoon. Vagrant Story. Legend of Legaia. Alundra 1 and 2. Wild Arms 1 and 2. Dark Cloud. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 1 and 2. I could go on and on about so many games that made my childhood great. Now that I think about it, I've played so many gems most people nowadays wouldn't have a clue about. Super thankful to my dad for introducing me to JRPGs as a kid. Now I'm 26 and I still think about those games all time. Sorry it was long, but man, this question had me on a nostalgia trip. Thanks for asking this. TL Dr. Halo CE for the original Xbox. It, and the friends that would form my red team, saved my life. I had thought my gaming days were largely behind me. I was an ice hockey player in high school and thought I would keep it in my other athletics up, snow skiing, swimming, water skiing/wakeboarding, and fencing, and just wouldn't have time for gaming before I joined the Marines. Well, I got hurt playing hockey, which sucked, but the botched surgery to fix me, sucked even more. I went from being an athletic hockey player, to being in a wheelchair for part of high school. I gained my feet after some agonizing PT, but was left in pain. My senior year, I got an Xbox with 3 games, Halo, NHL 2002, and Monk's Odyssey, for my birthday. I hadn't asked for any of it. I was in a dark and low place. I would be unable to join the Marines, my hockey days were over, and I was 18, in pain, and walked with a limp, that is less pronounced today, 18 years later, but is still there. I couldn't have been any fun to be around. One of my friends knew I planned on offing myself right after graduation. I had my lethal plan, hanging, and the materials to execute it. Well, that friend got the rest of my friends to stay with me. We started playing Halo that year. It was fun, really a lot of fun, but my plans remained unchanged. I graduated, and was mentally preparing myself for my end. But, that friend came over, the day after graduation, and played with me. The next day, he was back with the rest of my friends. That whole summer, I was never alone. Turns out, he had been scheduling times with my other friends to play Halo, and keep me company. They got me talking about the next steps in life, what theirs would be, and some things mine could be. For 2 months they kept me alive, by making sure I understood that I could still enjoy life, and have fun. And fuck was Halo fun. LAN parties were such a blast that we had weekly parties, where we'd invite other kids from high school over to play long into the night. They got me to register for community college, and before I knew it, I was back firmly in the world of the living, and wanting to stay. I couldn't join the Marines, but found a love for psychology and ended up in graduate school, and now work as a psychologist in schools. Had I been medically fit to join the Marines, I would have likely ended up in Iraq or Afghanistan. Or both. Instead, I love my career, and I'm grateful beyond words to be here, pain, limp, and all. But it all traces back to a handful of incredible mates, and a strangely beautiful and deep game about a soldier, his trusty AI, and a whole lot of LAN cables. Minecraft, the begging of the begging into games for most of us, below 18. Even if you play it at the age of 50, everyone will pay you respect, not shame. My roommate in college told me to buy the beta when it first came out. He was adamant that I get it. I brushed him off. Later that day, he had snuck into my room somehow, bought it for me, and installed it on my computer. He was right, it really was / is something special. I just recently set up my old PC as a Minecraft server for me and my siblings plus a couple of family friends. It's been great. Dark Age of Camelot. Geez, those days were nuts. Not to get super sidetracked. But in high school I literally eat, slept, and breathed out. That game was my life. I rarely bathed, didn't brush my teeth, I treated everyone like crap. I was addicted to that game. The craziest part, is the worse I got, it seemed like the more girls wanted to go out with me. Why? My hair was long and oily, like my face. I don't think that same behavior works when you're at adult lol.